I know I'm going to probably piss off some Americans right now with what I'm going to say, but your constitution is no longer fit for purpose. The First Amendment is about liberty and freedom, and yet it's illegal. Maybe not in all states now, but only just recently it was made legal for you to smoke pot. But it's still illegal for you to smoke pot, even in the states that have allowed pot to be legal. It's still illegal under your American government. I would think that's unconstitutional. I would think the federal government telling me I can't grow and smoke weed that I grew in my own back garden in any state in America, I think that's unconstitutional. I think under the First Amendment, the freedom, pursuit and happiness, my pursuit and happiness is to grow my own weed in my back garden and smoke it. Not to sell to other people, that could be illegal. But I should certainly be able to grow my own weed in my back garden, or grow my own opium and smoke that shit. Or make my own fucking crack cocaine if I grow the cocaine in my back garden and fucking harvest it and make my own cocaine. That's fucking liberty. That's freedom. I shouldn't be allowed to sell it to other people. That should be illegal. But I should certainly be able to fucking grow it in my own fucking back garden. And if my back garden's a 10-acre field, that should be allowed for me to grow my opium, my cocaine and my pot, and prepare and make that drug for myself, for my own use, and not sell it to other people. That's freedom. That's the First Amendment. But we all know that that's not rational. But it's rational, the Second Amendment, for me to own cannons, tanks, fucking armoured rifles, 50 cal fucking sniper rifles, as many semi-automatic handguns and machine guns that I want, and if I go crazy and walk into a school and shoot people, that's just because I went crazy. The fact that I had all those guns had nothing to do with it. The Constitution is out of date. When the people wrote your Constitution, they didn't foresee people having a handgun that could fire 300 rounds in what, 2 or 3 minutes. They just didn't foresee that. They had no idea that in 2013 or 2012 you could be walking about with 2 handguns that could fire as many bullets in a minute as almost an army of men could fire in a minute. I don't think the Constitution is fit for purpose anymore. I think these people in America really need to have a serious look at your Constitution and make some decisions about how it needs to be applied differently today than you apply it. For instance, yes, it certainly says that you can, own a gun. But does it mean that you should be able to own a gun that can fire 300 rounds a minute? Maybe you could make some changes to the gun laws and say that under the Constitution you're entitled to own a gun. You're probably entitled to own a gun that can fire 1 round every 3 or 4 seconds. So I would say you can have a bolt action rifle or a single chamber shotgun. Not pump action, but a single chamber shotgun that you have to break the breech and reload after each shot. You're entitled to have that. Any other gun, you're entitled to own that gun, but only if you have a special license to own that gun. I think it's time that America started to look at its guns and its gun laws and try to match up what the American forefathers who wrote the Constitution actually meant by bearing arms. with the thought to the kind of arms that they knew were in existence at the time. I'm sure they didn't mean that every family, back when they wrote the Constitution and signed up for the Second Amendment, I'm sure they didn't mean that every person could own a Gatling gun, you know, or a cannon. I'm sure what they meant was a single loaded, one shot, as fast as you could reload that one shot, you know, maybe get off, you know, one shot every 20 seconds, 3 shots, 4 shots a minute. I think that's really the kind of gun they were thinking of, and I think that should be wholeheartedly supported, because that's what they were writing about when they wrote the Second Amendment. That should be the standard today. Any armament, anybody can own an armament. You don't even need to have a license for an armament that you have to reload and can only get probably 3 or 4 shots off a minute. That's perfectly okay, but anything other than that, modern weapons, special license, special criteria, special background checks. I would say that I would think that that would be a pretty good change to the understanding of owning arms in America, and it would go a long way to restricting the amount of damage that one person can do with the firearm that they own. I'm just saying, and I know I'll upset a lot of Americans because they think, oh, it's freedom, so yeah. First Amendment, everybody's entitled to the freedom of pursuit of happiness. And if you owning a gun is going to impede my pursuit of happiness, then fuck you. And by the way, if my pursuit of happiness is growing pot, growing opium, growing my own cocaine, making my own drugs and getting fucked up, that's my pursuit of happiness. That's the First Amendment. You can't fucking step on me to do that, you know. But apparently the federal government can do that when it comes to me getting fucked up. But when it comes to you fucking me up and killing my kids, well that's different for the Second Amendment, you know. Oh, the federal fucking courts, the federal government, they can't step in and stop that shit. No fucking way. If I want to have a fucking Gatling gun or a fucking howitzer, that's my prerogative, is it? I told you I was probably going to piss some Americans off, didn't I? And I certainly probably have. Sounds like fucking bad. It beggars belief that Americans can look at tragedies like this last one is Sandy Hook and think that the Second Amendment is more important than those children's lives. Those 4 and 5-year-old, 6-year-old kids' lives. Your Second Amendment that allows people without fucking checks to walk into a fucking gun fair and buy any fucking gun they want, and then maybe walk into your kid's school and shoot them while you're at your job wondering how you're going to save enough money to put your kid through college. Well, you don't have to bother about that now because some prick who bought a gun at a fucking gun fucking show just shot your kid's fucking brains out over the fucking floor. There's a Second fucking Amendment for you. So don't worry, stop worrying about saving enough money to put your kid through college, because you don't need to anymore. Your kid's dead. But the Second Amendment is alive and fucking healthy, man. Yeah. That fucking Second Amendment, man. More important than your kid, isn't it? Of course it is. You love that Second Amendment. You couldn't give a shit if your kid and the next door neighbour's kid and all your neighbours down the street's kids all died. As long as that Second Amendment is still alive and going strong. It's such an important fucking thing for America, isn't it? guess the NRA are going to come out later and say, wow, he was just a crazy, single crazy guy. Just a single crazy guy, you know. Phew, you know, that's life. That's life, you know. Those 20 kids probably turned out useless, worthless, fucking drug-taking fucking sluggards anyway, you know. So, no, that's life. Probably saved them a life of misery, you know what I mean? Especially with the Koch brothers fucking taking over other states, turning them into right to work and demanding the right of tax fucking cuts, yeah. Yeah, they probably had a miserable life anyway, so Second Amendment, fucking brilliant. Death of kids in school, yeah, it's just one of these things that happens. Let's not worry about it. Let's just show the sad faces and the cards and the flowers piled up, and you know, let's have lots of people talk about how sad it is on the news and media, and you know, interview a few tearful parents, talk about how we've got to do more to stop this, and then let's just forget about it till the next one happens, because the Second Amendment is far too important to do anything about it, you know. Far too fucking important to actually do anything that would stop it, because we really need to have our guns. Shit, a lot of these people who own guns, they wouldn't feel like they were a man if they didn't have their gun, you know. The guns are a huge extension of their penis, and if you took their guns away, it would be like castrating them, wouldn't it? Yeah. So let's not do anything about it, let's not get all hyped up, let's not get over emotional. It's just a few kids. There's millions more out there, you know. Millions. Shit. As I said, they're probably just going to turn out to be dopeheads anyway, so, you know, who cares? I hate to think that's what's going to happen, but having seen what's happened before in America after tragedies like this, I pretty much think that's what's going to happen. Basically nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. And we'll be going through the same old story in another few months somewhere else in America. Maybe it will only be 8 then rather than 20. Maybe only 1, maybe 2 or 3. You know, yeah, maybe it won't be such a tragedy as this one for so many people. Maybe it will just be a tragedy for just a few families, you know what I mean? Just a handful. Maybe it will just be Mexican and black people, and then we can just not bother about it at all, you know. Maybe you could shoot half a dozen black people and Mexican kids and then just claim stand his ground. You know, they looked at him evilly and they thought they were going to throw the crisps and candy bars at him. Felt threatened, so had to shoot him. You know, maybe something like that's going. I don't know. You fucking Americans are just fucking crazy, man. Fucking crazy. We had Dunboyne in Scotland. One tragedy. We immediately fucking sorted that shit out. Not to say we're never going to have another shooting in Scotland, but we certainly made it much more difficult for people to have shotguns or automatic weapons and walk into school and shoot kids after Dunboyne. We certainly fucking acted then. I don't know what America's going to do, but I do believe it's going to be nothing. I just find it hard to even feel sad about it anymore. I mean, I do feel sad, but it's harder and harder to feel really sad about it. I do feel despondent, which is a different emotion from sadness. I feel like there's just really nothing that anybody can do because of this fucking insane Second Amendment bullshit, you know. I just feel it's fucking bullshit. It's been totally misinterpreted. At times it is, sometimes I just want to just not watch the news for the next 3 days because I know it's going to be filled with it, and I really just don't want to hear the crap that fucking people say. I don't want to hear the stupid fucking inane fucking comments made by fucking the guy on the spot, or the, you know, I don't want to see the interviews of the grieving families anymore. Families crying out for their representatives, their politicians who they've voted to protect them. I just don't want to see the useless pleading, knowing that it's going to be for naught because they don't care. They don't fucking care. They've got your vote, they're in for the next 4 years or 2 years or 6 years, and they don't give a shit. They couldn't fucking care less about you and your dead fucking kid. Because I know in 3 months' time there's somebody else's kid somewhere, and people forget about you, they'll forget about Sandy Hook, and the NRA will pay lots of money to get the politicians in the Senate and the House to not vote to do anything about it. They'll be paid to not bring it up, or to filibuster it, or to amend it so badly that it doesn't make any sense and any rhyme or reason to it, and nothing will work, nothing will change, and you'll be back here in 3 fucking months, or next month, or 5 months, but you're going to be back here. Thank you, America, for some of the fucking worst news and the worst bullshit crap fucking, oh, we feel sorry for people. I don't believe you. I don't believe any of the fucking news people. I don't believe any of the fucking interviews. I don't believe any of the politicians. They don't give a shit. If they did give a shit, they'd have done something already. If the politicians and the news people and the American populace really give a shit about this sort of thing, America would have done something about it already. I really do believe it. You'd have done something about it. You're not going to do it because you really don't care. The only people that care are the people who are crying now over their dead loved ones, their family members who are now never going to have an opportunity to even attempt to claim the American dream. Grist for the wheel, I suppose. Grist for the wheel. It's worse than sad.